Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is the latest movie to grace the big screen since the start of the pandemic, following a fairly successful launch of Black Widow on Disney+. But was the martial arts mask able to make an impression to lure people back to the cinema after so long away from it? You're watching Year Geek, let's get to it. So, seeing this film was my second visit to the cinema since March 2020, with No Time to Die being the first film due to me being such a James Bond fan, and a review of that is to come in the near future. And I went into the film having not read or seen much about it. I knew it was a martial arts based, I knew it had an ancient and oriental Asian setting, and I knew it was going to be something very different from Marvel when comparing it to the traditional superhero films that have come before it. I was really looking forward to something new and fresh and original, and this film was definitely that. While it may not be in my top 10 Marvel films, and I may have a few issues with the film, overall it was really enjoyable, fun, original, wild and great. It really is a great film to start with this new Marvel phase of Marvel characters. So let's start with what I thought about the story. The story is pretty straightforward and nothing's going to leave you scratching your head. And it serves its purpose in taking these characters through different scenarios and introducing us to Shang-Chi and so on. But I wouldn't say it's really engaging like something like Civil War or Spider-Man Homecoming. The story's a little bit flat in my opinion. It just didn't feel like it flowed. It didn't feel organic and natural enough. There wasn't anything in the film or the story that made me think, wow, this is storytelling. And to be honest, at this stage of the MCU, I and many other Marvel fans expect fantastic storytelling in every Marvel film. But let me make it clear, I didn't not enjoy the storyline, because I did. I just didn't feel it was anywhere near on par with the majority of the other MCU films that have come before it. Next, the action. My favourite bit of any film, particularly in Marvel films. The fight scenes in this film are really well choreographed, fast-paced, expertly put together and full of energy and speed. Don't expect John Wick levels of energy or impact behind the fight scenes, but instead expect more traditional martial arts fighting. And so in that sense, this film hits the nail right on the head. The standout fight scene for me was the one on the bus, which is no spoiler as it's in the trailers. It's full of variety and originality. There are lots of other fight scenes spread throughout the film, and they're also very good. However, and I do hate picking on negative things in films, I did find them to become quite samey. The fights didn't feel too different to one another, and where the fighting is so fast paced, it can be quite hard to visualise the fighting and each hit that's made. Again, I still enjoyed it, and maybe I'm going to enjoy it more in a second viewing, but after the first viewing, I just found it to be a bit samey. The action at the end of the film is the best bits in the film, and they're really going for it. I won't give any spoilers away, but the action at the end of the film was very, very enjoyable and super entertaining. That's the word, entertaining. It is crazy. Casting the film was good too. Simu Liu, and I hope I pronounced that right, plays Shang-Chi really well, kicks ass in the film's fight scenes, and is a character I just know I'm going to enjoy seeing grow and grow throughout the upcoming films and franchises and phases. There is something about the actor in this character that just rings special to me. Watch this space. The villain, he's good, nothing to write home about, but does a good performance. The best performance, however, has to go to the one I can't even talk about, because this character is a bit of a surprise and a bit of a cameo, although he's more of a side character than just a cameo. His performance, I loved the first time I saw him, and I genuinely believe he should win some kind of award. His acting and humour is first class, and I adored him on screen. We need more of him. Pacing of the film was okay, however I do feel it lacks something in the second act of the film. The first act was good at introducing us to the people and story. Third act was pretty damn epic. In fact, the third act's really good. But the second act, it just slows down a bit too much for me. The score and the soundtrack for this film was very oriental and perfect for the film. Very atmospheric, very organic, and it just fitted the theme of the film perfectly. Low thrumming drums, high string instruments, wind instruments, percussion tapping to its heart's content. Spot on. And some of the tracks have that modern flavour entwined into it. Those classic Marvel horns and brass in the music to remind you it's a Marvel film. I love it. So, what do I think overall? Yes, I did find the story a bit simple and nothing too special. And yes, I found the fight scenes in the first and second act to be a little bit too samey after a while. The humour didn't land for me and the film slowed down a bit too much in the middle. However, I thoroughly enjoyed the film overall. It had some standout fight moments, incredible ending, original ideas, epic music, and a fantastic cameo. Overall, I give it 3.5 out of 5, and I can't wait to see it again.